Alright, I'm at Caesars Creek Wildlife Area. Seems really crowded today. We waited in the car for a while because there's some people loading up their horses. So they finally left. And then we got our stuff together to leave, and a bunch more pulled in. Here, Wally, let me put this on. I'll hook you up, Wally. We got to cross the road. Okay, there we go. This road is really busy, so gotta keep them on the leash so we get across the road. I've videoed, well, I tried to video the last several times I've come, but this camera was acting up. I reset the factory settings on it, formatted the card. Seems to be working now, so hopefully we got it worked out. I'm just coming to swap the card. I may end up bringing this camera with me back, because it seems like every time I make a video I always say I'm going to Salt Fork next week. Which, that's the case. I'm going to Salt Fork, so I may want to take the camera with me. So I put it over here because there's a whole lot of pawpaw trees, so I wanted to have it there for when those pawpaws got ripe, in case something comes through there to get the pawpaws. But if the pawpaws are all gone already, then I'll probably just go ahead and grab the camera and take it with me so I can bring it to Salt Fork. I mean the recorder. But if there's still a lot of pawpaws, I'll probably just swap the card and leave it. This is a busy road, but luckily we got a break where there's no traffic. So the bridge is right over there. That's the Caesars Creek, the creek. And it runs along this trail. Or the trail runs along it, I should say. I'm glad we didn't run into them on horseback. That would have freaked Wally out, and he might have freaked the horses out carrying on. All right, Wally. Here. There you go. So, some of you may already know, but some of you probably don't. I had my garage burned down back in July, at the end of July, July 20th. We had just come home, and we'd only been home, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, and we had stopped and got a kiddie pool. My wife got it for the chickens, so she was out in the yard getting that set up for them, and she come running back in the house, said the garage is on fire. So I went out the front door right when she said it, and there's already flames coming out of her along the roof line. And I called 911, and it only took them about 10 minutes to get there, but by the time they got there, it was fully engulfed, and yeah, I lost everything. Garage, it was like almost a 4-car garage, and I'm kind of a pack rat. I had a lot of stuff in there. Had it packed pretty full. So I lost everything, all my tools, everything. So that was July 20th. And we're still trying to get everything settled on it. We're getting there. We got a lot of it settled already, so I mean, as far as, well, it's settled, and then the checks, 2 of the checks that we got are supposed to go in the bank tomorrow. So I have to buy a new tent because my tent burned up. So we're hoping can get it delivered, getting it on Amazon, hoping that it'll be at the house by Wednesday, because Thursday I'm going to Salt Fork. So. But a friend of mine, Carrie Barath, she saw where I posted about it, about hoping we'd be able to order a tent and get it in time. And she had already offered to let me use her tent. But I told her worst case scenario I could sleep in the van. That's what I did last time I went, because it was going to rain pretty much the whole time. So I could sleep in the van, but I do like having a tent there. Anyway, she saw some online auction. She got a tent for $8, and then she got 2 other tents for $1 each. So she got 3 tents for me, because she said she didn't know how good they were. So out of 3 of them, hopefully one of them is usable. So I got a backup plan, even if one from Amazon doesn't come in time. So, finally gonna break down and get a kayak. Been wanting one. Well, Carrie, that friend of mine, last year when we were at Salt Fork, she brought her kayaks out. And that's the first time I ever had been kayaking. And we kayaked across the lake there at Salt Fork. It's pretty fun. And that sold me right there. I've been wanting to get one ever since. So I'm finally gonna break down and get one. Hopefully I can get that before we go to Salt Fork too, and I can bring it. Because there's a spot where we found prints last time, and they were heading into the water, and it's like a moat around this island, and it looked like they were heading over to that island. So I'd like to get a kayak and get over there to that island and look around, because I got a feeling that might be a spot where they hang out, because you can't get to it without a boat. I mean, I don't know how deep it is. You might be able to wade across there, but it looks fairly deep. So hoping to do that. And then I'm also going to get a drone. I have a Mavic Mini. It crashed on me when I was in Alabama. There's something wrong with it. I had flown it and it got stuck in a tree like 100 foot up. I got it out, but when it hit the ground, it broke one of the arms off of it. I replaced that, and it was working okay. But then it started not wanting to connect to my phone. I couldn't connect the camera. So if you can't connect the camera, there's really no point in flying a drone. So it was sitting for like a year. And before I went to Alabama, I wanted to make sure I could use it again. So I took it to a repair shop, had him work on it. He said it was the motherboard on the controller messed up. That's why it wouldn't connect. So he replaced the motherboard. I took it to Alabama, took it up. We were in the Talladega, and I wanted to get an overhead view of the camp where we were at. We were there all by ourselves. So I took it up in the air. This is a hunter's camp. And it said there was an error. The props were spinning too fast. I never seen that error before. So I brought it back down. And a couple days later I tried it again. It was windy that day, so I thought, well, maybe it was because of the wind. So a couple days later I tried it again. Got the same error. I brought it back down. And then the last day we were there, I was thinking, man, I really want to get a good shot of where we're at, because we were out in the middle of nowhere. There was nothing but forest around us. No houses real close. And I wanted to get a good overhead shot, show how remote it was. And I sent it up again. I got the same error. I went to bring it back down, and it wouldn't. I couldn't control it. It just started coming down really quick, and I couldn't do anything with it. So it came down pretty quick, not like full just dropping out of the sky, but it came down quick, and it hit the ground, bounced, well, went back up in the air, flew back up about 8 to 10 feet high, and then shot like a rocket into the woods, right into a tree. So it's toast. So I can't use it. So I want to get a replacement for it, since I had bought the Fly More kit that comes with a case, 3 batteries. So I got 3 batteries for it and all that. So I think I'll just, and it was the first Mavic Mini they came out with. Now there's several. So I can get the first one fairly cheap. So I'm just going to get the drone itself, since I already got 3 batteries, for fairly cheap. And then I can be back in business with the drone. But then I'm also going to get one that's called a Neo 2. And the main reason I want it, I watched a lot of videos on it. A lot of guys were calling it the best drone DJI put out. And I like DJI products, but the Department of Defense is getting ready to ban a lot of their products. They're out of China. And I don't know, it's supposed to be national security concerns, but I think it's more lobbying. I think a lot of American companies were having trouble competing with DJI. So they were lobbying to get them out of there so that they would be able to compete. So the Neo 2 is a drone that's autonomous. I mean, you can fly it with your phone. You can fly it with a controller. In fact, you can get it with goggles, like VR goggles, and get like a first-person view flight with it, which is pretty cool. But also, it can fly autonomous, where you get it out, turn it on, hold out your hand, push the button. You can select different options on there, and you can have it follow you. It'll track you. It'll fly out of your hand so far up, not very high, and it'll just hover there and track you, lock onto you, and you can walk like I'm doing now, walk a trail, and it'll fly behind me, filming me. Or I can have it If it was more open, I could have it on either side of me, filming from the side. Or I could have it in front of me, flying backward. So I can get a lot of shots that way. And what's pretty cool about it is you can get, if you use a DJI wireless mics, you can get a noise canceling. So I can be talking like this right here, and you won't hear the drone at all. The microphone cancels it out. So it's got some nice features. And they're going to outlaw it next month in September. So that's why I want to get that right away before they outlaw it. Then I wouldn't be able to get it. So another thing I'm planning to get is an electric bike. One with the big fat tires to get out on trails like this. So it's kind of a poor man's version of overlanding. Take the e-bike. I'm going to get a little wagon to pull behind it. That way I can load that wagon up and get way out there. Camp like in Wayne National Forest, or I don't know, Allegheny, wherever. I can get out there and get pretty far out with the e-bike. So with me getting those things, my videos are going to be a little different now. Hopefully better quality. There's another thing I want to get is I want to get a cam, like a GoPro, a cheap GoPro, an old one for Wally. Have a Wally cam mount on him. And I want to get a couple of the used ones that are fairly cheap, the older ones, like a 7. I think they're up to like 13 now. Hero 13. You can get like a Hero 7 for like $100 now on eBay. So I'm going to get a few of those. Have one for Wally. And I've always wanted to be able to put one on my back when I'm hiking. Kind of watch my back in case pick up something. And I definitely want to get a kayak so I can get out like right here, explore, get to places that are hard to get to otherwise. So I've never been on the other side of that creek because it's not over my head or anything, but it's probably knee deep or so. So be over Wally's head. So I've never crossed the creek. So if I get the kayak, I can get over there and scope out what's over there too. All right, let's see. Pawpaws. There was pawpaws. That tree right there. They're right. They're right in that area, right in there. Let's see, yeah, right in there somewhere. So pawpaws are gone. Oh wait, no, they're still there. I'm looking at the wrong tree. Yeah, there's pawpaws there. All right. Well, that means I'm just going to swap the card then. Leave the recorder here. It's nice and quiet. Wish it was like this at night, but the frogs get to carrying on, and man, it's loud. I'm hoping if anything comes through, I'll be able to hear it okay with the frogs here. You just don't know that when you're here in the daytime till you check your recording at night. Alright, I'm going to go swap the card on my recorder. Don't want to reveal my location. And then I'll be back. I'm in the sun here. Okay, I got the card swapped out. I was noticing there's pawpaws. Let me see. Where are we at here? Oh, I'm facing me. Let me turn the camera around. Okay. Up. I don't know if you can see them on here. This doesn't have a zoom, so that's one right there in the sun. Right there. And then there's some more. Actually, I could extend this out, I guess. There's more up there. Anyway, quite a few pawpaws on these trees still. Bring this back down. Alright, turn it back around. There we go. Anyway, I got the card swapped. I was checking these other trees. There's still lots of pawpaws on these trees. So I'm just going to leave the recorder here. I'm just walking along this bank here. See if there's any prints. I'm going to get a kayak for sure. And I can bring it here and I can go down these banks and look for prints. And I can get out in some spots that are hard to get to otherwise. Check them, look around. Alright, let me turn this back around. I got my recorder on my head along with my amplifying headphones. And I got my tactical vest on. It's Ted Mackey turned me onto that. It's been really handy. It's got all these different pockets. I can keep all my stuff. Easy to carry. Alright, Wally, I was afraid of that. There's poison ivy. Come on. We're not going to go down that way. Wally, come on. He's going to get poison ivy all over me on the way home, probably. Yeah, that's all. Wait a minute, turn this thing around. You're right up against it, Wally. It's all poison ivy all along here. Let me aim it down. That's poison ivy. It's all over. All along there. He just went through there too. That's my fault though. I was going to go down there and look for prints, but I couldn't remember how far down that poison ivy was. So we won't be doing that. I heard something across the creek earlier, right after I shut off the camera. I heard something over there, so I got my phone and shot a quick video with my phone in case there might be something over there that I might pick up, but I don't know what it was. Something moving or making a sound over there. You never know. These are all pawpaws. All these trees right here. All over. There must be 50 trees or more that are pawpaws. At least 50. So I can't help but think they know this is a good food source and they'll come through looking for it at some point. So hopefully my recorder will pick something up. I get that kayak, I can definitely go around right in here. There's a spot right by the bridge up there you can park. I've seen a lot of people parking there. And you can get in the water right there. I don't know how Wally will do. I want to get a kayak that is mostly open, kind of like a canoe, so that I can not only have my gear in there. Well, the one I was looking at, it's flat, really flat, so it looks really stable, and it's open like a canoe almost the whole way. So that way there'll be place for Wally to get on it where he'll feel comfortable. I gotta get him a life jacket. So that's in the plans very soon. And there's several places I want to go once I get it. I want to get that and that e-bike. I want to go down to Lake Vesuvius and kayak across that lake at night. Piedmont over by Salt Fork, I'd like to get over there and play around on that lake at night too. I don't know if I'll take Wally when I do something like that. I don't know. Maybe I will. I'll have to see how he does on the kayak. He gets real nervous here lately over all kinds of stuff. Thunderstorms just really freak him out. Big time. And I don't know. Just he's very skittish here lately. Although when I went to get my cards at my usual spot, or my card, I took him, and I didn't know. I should have looked at the weather, but it was nice out when I left, like this. When we got over there, it started thundering, and it kind of freaked him out. He stayed right with me, right up against me, which he does that sometimes, but this time I knew why he was doing it, because that thunder had him scared. But he did surprisingly well. Alright, well, I guess we're going to head back. So tomorrow is when those checks go in the bank. And I'm hoping we can get that tent delivered by Wednesday. The kayak, I'm getting it on Marketplace, so I can just drive over and get it. So I should have a kayak for Salt Fork. So I can get the kayak, get the tent. I don't think I'll be able to get those GoPros in time, but I'll have them for later. And the drone, I don't think, well, the drone might come in time. That would be nice to be able to take the drone there at Salt Fork. Get some good shots around camp and kind of play around with it. So, yeah, the drone should come by then, because I'm getting that on Amazon. Well, the Neo, not the Mavic Mini. I'm getting the Mavic Mini on eBay. So I don't know when I'll get it, but the Neo. She has Amazon Prime, so should get it before we go to Salt Fork. There's going to be several people there that I haven't met, so looking forward to meeting some new folks at Salt Fork. And definitely want to do a night hike. At least one, maybe a couple this time. Didn't get to last time because it rained so much. And I'm gonna run a recorder the whole time because one of the loudest wood knocks I ever heard happened about 7 p.m. there at group camp. And I didn't have the recorder on. I had only been putting it on it when it's sundown, and I missed that one. We heard a couple more. One was about 3 in the morning. We were still up sitting around the fire. One pretty loud one. It was pretty close too. The one we heard about 7 o'clock wasn't real close, but man, it was loud. I mean, just hearing it, you wouldn't think it was a person because it was so loud. You just had to hear it. It didn't sound like, I don't think I could do a tree knock that loud. Even with maybe with a pretty good hefty baseball bat and a full swing to where it hurt my hands to do it, but maybe I could do it with both hands, full swing. But I mean, that's what it sounded like. It was a loud one. I got it recorded, but the recorder wasn't real close to it, so. Well, I didn't get the one at 7 o'clock recorded. The one at 3 in the morning I did, because I had a recorder back in the woods. You can hear it on there, but like I said, it was pretty far away. So, didn't really do it justice as to how loud it was. But I think we heard 3 wood knocks. We were there 4 days at group camp. And it was raining a lot, so we spent a big part of the time right there at camp. And it wasn't raining when we were, well, it wasn't raining any of the times that we heard them. But the one at 7 o'clock, there was a couple guys that had come late. They came like Friday or Saturday. Might have been Saturday. Might have come on the weekend. And they had set up their camp and everything, tent and all that, and they were getting ready to go out when we heard that. And at first we thought it was probably them, but we looked over and they were all standing over there, so we knew it wasn't them. But that was a loud one. But yeah, I want to take a hike on the Buckeye Trail. Hopefully this camera will work okay to do a night hike. Probably by myself. I don't know, maybe somebody will go with me, but I might just go by myself. Not going to take Wally. I'll leave him back at the camp. I don't want to have him out with coyotes. Plus, he's ready to go to bed once it gets dark anyway. And I think my chances are better without him of something coming up close I don't think they'll come very close. Wally, we're going the wrong way. Where are we at? We don't want to go here. I'm jabbering away. Didn't even realize I was on the wrong trail. Huh. I thought maybe since them horses just came off of this trail, maybe that might have drawn something in. I don't know. I'm all turned around now. Wasn't even paying attention. I thought I was on the regular trail. That's a pawpaw right there. Small one. So anyway, there's going to be some people there I haven't met. Always a good time there. Even last time when it rained, pretty much the whole time, we still had a good time. We didn't really get out to do much hiking, but we had time around the fire when it wasn't raining. And then when it was raining, had a canopy set up that well, two canopies together, where we had our food table and we had chairs all around under the second canopy, and we just sat in there when it rained. We could stay dry and sit and talk. There was only, I think 5 of us last time. I guess because of the rain, not too many people came. But I don't think we're going to get any rain this time, so there's quite a few people coming. All right, Wally. I don't know how I missed that. I think that goes to the creek. Oh, that's what I did. I made a right turn instead of a left. That's what happened. I'm going to double check my app. Yeah, we're going the right way. I just want to make sure if I walk too far. Should have turned on my hiking app so it could have tracked me. Just so I'd have it on there. Show how many times I've been here. Good for Wally to get out. Had a lot of rain here lately, so we haven't got out much. So definitely looking forward to going to Salt Fork. I mean, the times I have got out here lately, it's been just to come out and swap a card and come and then head back to the house. I haven't really been doing much exploring. That's why I'm looking forward to getting that e-bike, because man, I can get out here pretty quick. That's the other thing. I don't know how Wally will do around that e-bike. I'm going to try riding around the yard and take it to my usual spot and run around there a little bit with him, get him used to it. Like I said, he's pretty skittish here lately. he'll probably be afraid of it. Even though it doesn't make much sound, it might scare him. I don't know. That's why I want to get out and try it out a little bit first before I take him somewhere. Looking at that, you see stuff like that and it looks, I think, man, that's look like a print with toes. But I can see now as I'm looking at it, there's tread there from a boot. So anyway, it just made me stop and look for a second. Always try to keep an eye out. Hoping to find some prints at Salt Fork. I'd love to find a big print. Every print I've found has been about the size of my own foot. I've never seen anything really big. I'd like to get a cast that's 17, 18 inches long or more. Because the casts I've got, they came out good, but I mean, when you hold them up and show them to people, it's just the size of a regular foot, so it's not. I'm sure that's probably what they think. Well, that was probably just a person, and it may have been, but I don't think it was. Because the last prints I got at Salt Fork, I measured. There's like 54 inches between them, and they were just like, looked like a normal step. There's no way a human could be in wet mud and step from one step to the next 54 inches and it looked normal. You'd have to push off. You just couldn't do it. You couldn't do your foot flat and the next step be flat. You'd have to push off and reach, and you'd see it in the print. That's why I don't think they were human. And they were heading into the water, which doesn't necessarily mean it's not human, but my theory is they were heading over to that little island because they could be over there and hang out, not have to worry about any humans coming around, because you just can't get there unless you got a boat or swim. I don't know what these are. What is that? Anybody want to comment on that? Is that a mayapple? I don't know what mayaples look like, but they're all over here. They're all over on the ground. There's one over there. One over there. Huh. I don't know. I'm gonna take a picture of it. All right. Took a picture of it. Gonna have to get him on the leash here pretty quick. We're getting close to the road. Plus, after seeing people with horses there, I'm kind of paranoid about letting him run loose when we get back to the car. So you don't know. A horse, kill him. One quick kick, that would be it. Or stomp him. You don't know, and he's never been around horses. I mean, I don't think he would go very close to one, but he would definitely get him stirred up. He'd be howling and carrying on. There you are. I didn't bring us any water, Wally. I didn't think it was going to be this hot. I looked and it said like 74. Feels a lot warmer. I think maybe I have one in my backpack. I'll have to check. My backpack's in the car. There's another trail runs parallel with this one. I think one is supposed to be for hiking, the other's for horseback, but I don't think that anybody pays attention to that. I think you just go on whichever one. There you are. He always doubles back to see where I'm at. Especially if I stop. See if I get that little wagon, pull behind that e-bike, I could have my chainsaw in there. And then if I'm going down a old trail or whatever, there's a tree across it, I can cut the tree out of the way. Plus, like I said, I can get way back in there in a hurry. Find a good camping spot. Come here, Wally. We're gonna put your leash on. Getting close to the road. Here, Wally. Oh, wait. Hold up. Wally. Wait. Wally, come here. Took off before I could get you hooked. Okay. All right, we're almost back, so I guess that's it for today. Next video should be at Salt Fork. Stay tuned.